We typically think of goal setting as something we just do in January, but honestly, we can do it any single week or month of the year. In fact, you're going to find out why that's maybe even more beneficial. But I found out when I was setting my goals last November, I needed to do something very different. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Roseanne Marsh. I am the brainchild behind Level Up Empowering Possibilities. It is a journey of transformation through the science of the brain and the body. And it's for teens, and quite honestly, it's for the teen in every single one of us. So that includes you, right? So when I was setting my goals, I realized that I love the brain, and that's what I study, that's what I do. I develop skills and tools that help meet the brain where it's at. And I needed to approach my 2024 goals in a very different way. I needed to utilize what I knew about the brain, but I also needed to do something else. I needed to apply some glue to my goals so that I could stick them this time. I achieved a lot of the goals, but some of them I just didn't quite get there. But then, because of mentors and books and different things I've been learning, I thought I need to put together a packet for myself of how I can effectively goal set and how I can create glue that will help me land this year in 2024. So this is just a really brief overview of this free 21-page PDF that you can download. While it is self-explanatory, it's nice to have a little bit deeper knowledge of the tools you're going to be utilizing to really maximize your experience. There's really 4 steps to the goal setting. And then we're going to apply 6 steps that really are going to make the adhesion we need to be successful. I really felt like to be effective at setting my goals, I needed to unpack 2023. That's right. I needed a deep dive review of what went on. I mean, it's all about the questions you ask yourself, right? The better the questions, the better the information you have. And this packet is full of questions for you. I started out with the wheel of life. For those of you who are familiar with it, it is a wheel that is dissected in different things that you can evaluate, with a 0 being in the middle and 10 being on the outside. But I thought, well, I can fill in that wheel of life really fast, or I can take a deeper dive into each one of those sections and maybe take some bullet notes. When you receive your free PDF packet, you can either download it and write it manually, or you can fill it in electronically and just keep it on your computer. But bottom line, you want to be able to go through all the questioning first and then rate yourself on the wheel. Why is the wheel so powerful? Well, let's look at this for a second. Once you rate yourself, you'll then fill in from dot to dot with a line. What that now gives you is a wheel. And in this illustration, you can see the flat tire, so to speak, is in the relationship category. When we can do a visual representation of our satisfaction of our life at this period, it's like this little mental snapshot, like, whoa, pay attention to this area, because you may not have thought of this as a place you were going to set a goal. But when you see that flat tire, that area that needs to be pumped up, you can go, wow, I hadn't thought of that. But now, while I'm making these amazing, epic, life-changing goals, I'm going to make sure that I nod to that area that was maybe my weakest link. Now, here's a science piece in this. As I was asking myself questions in all of these 10 categories and making little bullet notes of things, I was also recording the successes. And while I was recording the successes, I took just a moment to be able to celebrate those successes. Now, why are we doing this? When we can give our brain a little bit of dopamine that doesn't come from a chocolate bar or an energy drink, we teach the brain, oh, wait, she likes it when we succeed at a goal. Wait, she likes it when we persevere. Oh, wait, she likes it when we push through. This is when we get the dopamine, the feel good. We're retraining the neural networks of our brain just in the review. So once I answer all the questions, then I can go to the wheel of life and I can evaluate that and I go, oh, okay, here's some opportunities for me. Now you might think at this point, it's like, okay, let's set some goals. It's goal setting time, right? Nope, not yet. Why? Okay, once we've done a thorough unpack using good questions. Now, let me kind of give you an idea of some of the questions that you can be asking yourself about 2023. Think back on the goals that you achieved. Why did you achieve them? What were the circumstances that set you up to succeed? Was it super easy? Is that why? Were parts of it hard? And when they were hard, how did you make yourself push through? When it was tough, what did you do to be able to persevere? And then the converse, on the ones that I didn't succeed at, why didn't I succeed? And when I look back, what should I have had in place that would have set me up to maybe achieve that? I mean, that's just a snippet. But then in the packet, every single one of those areas have some starting point questions for you. And you're going to go deeper too. You can say, well, I would ask myself this. You have a foundation now of where we're starting. Can't set goals until we know where we're starting. But you also can't set goals unless you know where you're going, right? And this is the awesome part here. Okay, now we're going to go into where do we want to go? This reminds me of driver's ed. I was 15, trying to get my driver's license, driving at 6 a.m. on Saturdays with the driver's trainer. Remember, their trainer has their little steering wheel and their brake on their side too to keep us safe. And he looked over at me on one Saturday morning and said, "Why are you swerving?" And I thought, am I swerving? He said, "Yeah, you're swerving. Why are you swerving?" I said, "Well, I didn't know I was swerving." He says, "Where are your eyes looking?" And I said, "Well, I'm looking at the road." And he said, "Where on the road?" And I said, "Well, I'm looking out right over the hood and onto the road." And he said, "Why are you looking there?" I said, "Well, I'm driving down the road, right?" He goes, "I need you to raise your eyes and look down the road. If you can look down the road, you can see obstacles coming. Right now, the way you're driving, a cow could be in front of you and you hit it." And I thought, whoa, just that one suggestion improved the way I drive. I will say, I've been driving a lot of years, and yes, I look down the road, but we have to do the same thing. So how do we do that? Well, that's when we utilize one of my favorite things that I teach in the live events and in the online events. It's all about, we got to awaken our imagination. We got to awaken our imagination. We need to become creators. And we are creators of our life. So if we want our life a little bit different than it is, then we need to create what that is. So one of the pieces is I'm going to have you step into your imagination, and I'm going to have you envision you 5 years from now as if it's already happening. And you might say, well, gosh, I really don't know. Make something up, step into it, and see how it feels in your heart. Visualization is a powerful tool for forward progress. In your packet, I have all these questions in about what you visualize. Like you in 5 years. What is your morning routine? What is your night routine? If you look at your plate, what do you see you eating? What are the conversations you have? What kind of languaging do you use? Who do you surround yourself with? What kind of charity things are you involved with? Etc., etc. Yeah, we're going to get a little specific with that. And it's okay if you don't know all the answers, but it might get you thinking like, oh, well, I didn't think about that. And my occupation, and oh, and how do I want to leave my mark? And all of a sudden you get into this and it gets exciting. Now, why are we doing that? Well, we unpacked 2023. We know the foundation. And now we have a target down the road. This is the point when you can set goals. Because the goals that you set for 2024 had better be stepping stones to get you to that dream life of where you want to be in 5 years, or we won't arrive, right? It's that incremental working towards who you want to be. And some of the things you're just going to adopt right away. Like, oh, if that's truly who I want to be, then this is going to be my new habit, which becomes who I am. It's all that process of becoming. So get excited. Your goals get a lot more fun to do when you've already got your base and now you got your vision. And then you can decide how we're going to incorporate that into our life. That comes up next, because these goals that I have, obviously, we're not going to go over the SMART. It has to be realistic, measurable, all those sorts of things. I want to talk to you about the glue. The glue, of course, I came up with an acronym and it's called SPARK. SPARK. Here's the glue. This is why you came today, right? And these are ideas from mentors, from authors, from people who are successful. I thought, I need to put it all together in one little place for me so that I can blather this all over my goals and make sure that I'm sticking in, because I want to step into that person I envisioned. I want to become day after day closer to who I want to be. And that happens one goal at a time, one habit at a time, until it becomes a part of our personality. So let's start out with SPARK. The S stands for set the stage. Hey, if you have a certain goal, you got to get rid of all the triggers and the distractions, those things that are going to pull you off course. If eating clean is one of my goals, well, I can't have brownies and chocolates and chips and things right in front of my face, right? And maybe I have a family that likes some of those things, but I got to make it super inconvenient for me to get at. If watching TV, breaking the habit of sitting down and watching TV all night is one of your things, then maybe you move your TV into a less convenient place, where the hard chair where, this isn't quite so fun anymore, or in a cabinet. If you find yourself, like I do sometimes, like sucked into my phone, then set a timer for your phone, or eliminate some of the apps on your phone, but just use your PC for when you want to use it. Set the stage. Set yourself up to succeed by eliminating first all those distractions, those things that are going to get in your way. The key in Spark: place what you need. Make that environment friendly. Okay, I love James Clear in Atomic Habits. I love how he said, put it in your face. If it's something important, you put everything you need in your face. My workout gear, it's right between me and the restroom. I have to step over it to get there. And because some days I lift weight, and some days I dance, I got to make sure I got the proper shoes. There's days when I'm like, oh, that's in the laundry, whatever. I waste a half hour and then I'm like, I won't even go today. But if I have set myself up to succeed, the likelihood of that happening, that becomes a glue to help me stick those goals. My water bottles are full of my trace minerals. Everything I need is packed and ready to go. Think of yourself as a steward over you for the next day. What are you going to need? You know, when your kids go to school, we're always packing a lunch before, getting their coats and everything out. It's the same thing for us. We need to do the same niceties for ourselves so that that habit can become immediate. The longer we have to think of something, the longer it takes for us to engage, chances are a month from now, it may have dwindled. So really, we're creating a system or a foundation to springboard the next day. Spark, the A. Align with your why. You got to connect with what's the underlining purpose, the one that just brings tears to your eyes when you think about it. And I'm sure you've all done the why. And if you haven't before, and finding your why, like, why do you want to work out, Roseanne? Why do you want to lift weights? Well, I want to have a strong body. Well, why do I want to have a strong body? I want to feel healthy and vital and have the energy to be able to go through the entire day. Well, why do you want to do that? Well, I want it to help my brain. I want it to be vital. I want to be cognitive. And why do I want to be that? Well, I want to be there for my kids. I want to be there a long time. Well, why do you want to be there for your kids? Because I have such an abiding love for them. I want to help them succeed. But more importantly, I also want to show them how important their physical body is and what a gift it is. Okay, there you got my vulnerability of where my why is. So when I think about not going for a workout, my why surfaces and like, no, I want to be able to show my gratitude for this physical body. I want it functional, but I want to also be that great example for my kids. So Spark, set the stage, place what you need, align with your why. The R, ready your time. You got to plan and schedule whatever this new goal is, whatever this new habit is. Going back to my Franklin Covey planning days, first things first. Is it something you get done right in the morning? I have a whole list of things that I do in the morning. And if I wait until 10 o'clock, They don't get done, but I got to schedule it in. I got to make appointments for myself in my agenda so that I can have the planning time that I need. And tracking this, here's an example of the tracker that we use in our program. Tracking is non-negotiable. Here's what I love about habit trackers, and you can find all sorts of habit trackers on the internet. And if you want this, you just ask for it and we'll send you a copy of this. It's the morning and the night, the things that you're going to do, and then you track every day what you've done. And you may think, oh my gosh, I'm not that check mark person. It's not just for the dopamine hit, which can I say is pretty cool to be able to check that off, but it's also for evidence in your brain that you're succeeding. Go back to the science again of this whole thing. It's also an indicator of, am I succeeding? Am I failing? What are the results? So if down the road, a month from now, you're like, I don't know. I don't know that I'm getting things done. Go back to that habit tracker and you can see where your holes are. Oh, wow. Yeah, I have been inconsistent with this. Even though it's a legitimate reason, it's showing up. When you look back on that and it's showing up in your life, it's evidence that those new goals were important in your life. I think it's important here to also tie in, what do you do when you can't do your goal? And you're not going to get that check mark. I love the concept I learned of floors and ceilings. And that is, if my goal is to work out an hour and a half every day, that's my ceiling. And my floor might be, okay, I go down in my home gym and I do 50 burpees and whatever I've set. Some way that every day I can do that goal consistently, because even the small consistencies add up incrementally over time. So I know that I have something that can take me just 5 minutes if it needs to, but I'm building in myself that consistency that I exercise 6 days a week. And even if I don't have a lot of time, I can at least do that 5 minutes. And I'm creating muscle memory of that habit. And then if we fall off the wagon, so to speak, and what we have as a goal doesn't happen, we just make sure it doesn't happen the second day in a row. It's all about get back on the horse and ride. Okay, Spark, set the stage, place the things you need, align with your why, ready your time, and the K is kindle your reward. Typically when we do hard things, we get that dopamine hit down the road when we see the results of it. And sometimes those things that aren't good for us are the things that we get that dopamine hit right away, like that chocolate donut that we just ate. But we have to build in those rewards, whether I get to a certain point and then I get something, or the reward might be you do it with friends. You have this goal together. And so getting up at 6 o'clock and walking is so much fun because you know your friend is down there on the street waiting for you. Find those things that kindle that reward, that bring that dopamine hit. That's the thing that keeps us going forward. Those are the pieces of glue that can help cement the habits in 2024 that we want. One other piece that I feel is invaluable, and I'm utilizing this and thinking, why haven't I been doing this all my life? Todd Herman wrote a book, The 90-Day Year. And the thought process behind it is absolutely brilliant. You set a goal for a year, but when we set a goal in January, we're trying to define the habits that we still need to have next November. And sometimes it fizzles out. Or if you are like I am the last minute girl. I am the one that gets that dopamine hit from that last minute push to get things done. And I get things done. That's one of my goals this year, to do things a little more timely and allow dopamine to happen in a different way. But think about it. If you take that year goal, break it in 4 pieces, and you know, my year does not end December 31st. It ends the end of March. It ends in 90 days. So you have 12 weeks of, you've got the goal in sight. That's the milestone that we are trying to hit. That's the marker. And then the 13th week, you evaluate, course correct, celebrate, and then reset that new goal for the next 90 days. As we adopt that ability to set shorter time goals, it's easier for us to stay intensified, engaged, focused, our eye on the ball. And the ability to intensify these goals this way, that's like the fuel tank for our goals. So I put it all in this free PDF for you. Even if you've set your goals, take some time to be able to apply the spark to all of your goals. What are you going to do to support your vision of who you want to be and become by the end of 2024? Now, you see, I'm a little passionate about tools. This goal setting is so aligned with what I do. Level Up Empowering Possibilities is all about helping you create a blueprint for your entire life. And we do that through the science of the mind and the body, but in an engaging, fun way. So you awaken your awareness of what you have control over, move into these empowerment skills, and then you awaken the creator of who you are. I had a mother say to me, why didn't I know these skills? Why didn't I know how to control thoughts and emotions and how to speak a new language? Why didn't I know how to handle fears and where they show up? I'm excited that I learned about setbacks and relationships and healing wounds that are down in our subconscious that are holding us back. And how about that awakening passions and creating that blueprint up here that we bring down in the here and now to be able to walk into that stepping stone of the future you of who we're going to be. And part of it is we create this customized morning routine for you so that your mind, body, and spirit is ready to go out and conquer the world. But then at night, there's a way to prepare your brain before you go to sleep. Science is far from boring. It's absolutely engaging and fun. And you can join us one of 5 ways. One is you can bring the study guide and journal and support videos into your home. The second is you can teach this to your tribe, to your group, to your homeschooling community with the done for you lesson plans with all the experiential fun and games and discussion points already lined out. Or you can join us online. Young adults, teachers, parents, come join us and learn as we take you on your own personalized journey. If you're a teen, join the teen online. Well, you'll meet teens from all over the world. And if you live in the Utah area, the ultimate is experiential boot camp where you're experiencing it live, and all of it comes alive with games and crafts and tools and journaling and discussions. Life is experiential. And we learn better when it's experiential. So there's nothing vanilla about this program, but what it does have, it has the life skills for today. What the grace gives we can give ourselves and our teens is the ability to be able to maneuver life, problem solve, understand those setbacks, create opportunity for themselves, and step into that dream life that they are creating through their habits and their actions. Sounds very similar to what we're doing in 2024, but on an extraordinary level. Let's make 2024 a time when we do something different, when we create the change in our lives that we've always wanted to have happen. Like they say, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. Isn't it time that we change things up and do things different? Here at Level Up, we just want to help. We'd love to have you a part of the community. We're looking forward to meeting you. Info at levelupteen.com. If you want to reach out, go to levelupteen.com/learn more to get a little bit of the flavor, and levelupteen.com/shop to reserve your spot. Good luck with your goals whenever you set them. Apply the spark, and we're going to have an amazing year. Thanks, my friends. Tally ho.